Welcome to The Family, a novella by Christopher Bloodworth, voiced by the author, Christopher Bloodworth. Chapter 2. You up, kiddo? Jesse burrowed deeper under the covers. He'd had a terrible dream the night before, a dream so real it felt like an actual memory. You up, kiddo? Jesse opened his eyes in the darkness under the covers. That wasn't his mom's voice. Although the voice sounded muffled from under the covers, Jesse could still hear the scarecrow's deep voice clearly. Jesse tightened into a ball, remembering the glazed look of his mom's eyes as she lay in a puddle of her own blood. You up, kiddo? The scarecrow asked again from the other side of the covers, less than an inch from Jesse's ear. Jesse's teeth started chattering and the scarecrow chuckled his deep chuckle. Soon, the man breathed. Soon. Jesse didn't think he ever wanted to wake up again. All he wanted to do was shut his eyes and be back in his own bed with his mom in his doorway asking if he was up. Jesse lay still, even though his teeth kept chattering in the darkness of the covers. He waited for the sound of the man's footsteps to retreat. Eventually they did just that, even though it seemed to take hours for the man to start moving away from the place where Jesse lay curled. There was a metal rattle from far away, a clanging noise, and then the sound of a door sliding open. It sounded a little like the sliding glass door that was the back door to Ben's house. Apartment, Jesse corrected himself. His mom always made sure that he called things by their proper name. She always told him. A sob escaped from Jesse's throat. He pressed his face into the mattress as more sobs racked his tiny frame. He wailed into the mattress as he thought about the way his mom always made sure he knew the right. Jesse screamed into the mattress as he corrected himself again. His mom made sure he always knew the correct words for things. Jesse squeezed his eyes shut, trying to block out the image of his mom's glassy eyes staring into his as the dark mouth on her neck wept. As Jesse cried into the mattress, he drifted off and slept. Chapter 3. Jesse woke with a start. He was drenched in sweat. The mattress and sheets were soaked. Throwing off the covers, Jesse looked around through bleary eyes that burned from all the crying. He was at the center of a room that was double the size of his room back at home. To his left was a staircase that led up. Surrounding him on shelves and on top of small wooden drawers were heads. Pale mannequin heads without any features painted on. Just the bumps where the noses were and depressions for the eyes and mouth. Jesse looked around, more frightened than before. He rubbed the sweat from his forehead with the crook of his elbow. Why was it so hot? A vent on the wall opposite of the stairs began to blow cool air into the room. Jesse stood on the bed and held his arms straight out to either side, feeling the cool air run over his body. I probably look like a scarecrow. That thought was enough to make him drop his arms. Jesse jumped. As from the top of the stairs metal clanged, he heard the sound of a sliding door being pulled open and then shut. Footsteps started down the stairs, heavy, clomping footsteps. Every stair creaked as weight was put down on it. Jesse still couldn't see the feet, but he knew he would soon. He watched the stairs, his heart pounding against his ribcage, sweat streaming down his back and face. First one boot appeared, then a second. The boots grew blue jean-clad legs as they continued down the stairs. The legs grew hips, and then a torso dressed in a red t-shirt with olive-skinned arms appeared. Last came the head of the body, and it was still wearing the dark brown burlap sack with the rips where the eyes and mouth were. The scarecrow paused at the foot of the stairs for a few moments. Jesse stepped back as the scarecrow slowly turned its head to look at him. Jesse stared back. Well, tried to stare back. He couldn't seem to keep his eyes on the scarecrow for any longer than a few seconds without looking away. The dark pits where the eyes were, or should have been, unnerved Jesse. The scarecrow spoke. You up, kiddo? A single traitorous tear escaped and left a wet trail down his cheek. The scarecrow brought his right hand up in a fist to the outside corner of his right eye hole. The fist rotated several times before Jesse understood. The scarecrow was making fun of his tears. This realization filled Jesse with a rage so deep that the tears began to roll down his face in earnest. The scarecrow brought his other fist up and started turning both fists back and forth beside the dark holes in the mask. Jesse put his face in his hands and cried. After a few minutes, the tears tapered off and he raised his head. The scarecrow still stood at the foot of the stairs in the same spot, but his hands were down by his sides now. "What do you want?" Jesse asked, his voice wavering as his eyes teared up again. The scarecrow didn't move for a long time. He just stood there looking at Jesse. Then he turned and walked back up the stairs, boots clomping stairs creaking. Metal rattled. A door slid open and shut, and Jesse fell down on the bed, crying again. Welcome to the Family, a novella by Christopher Bloodworth, voiced by the author, Christopher Bloodworth.